Welcome! What we are going to do in this video is to look at several different examples of how to graph equations of lines. So let's get started. In our first one, a graph of 5x minus 2y is equal to 10. When I look at that equation, I see that the constant on the right hand side is evenly divisible by the coefficients of x and y. So in order to graph that equation, it would be easy to do by what's called the intercept method of graphing. So with the intercept method of graphing, we are going to make an XY chart. And what we are going to do is specifically find the x-intercept and then find the y-intercept, and then plot those 2 points to get our line. So with the x-intercept, remember to find the x-intercept of any graph, you put 0 in for the y-coordinate. So I'll go to my equation and I'm taking out the y-coordinate and replacing it with 0. Simplifying, well, 2 times 0 is 0, 5x minus 0 is 5x, 5x equals 10, divide both sides by 5, I get x is equal to 2. And then to get the y-intercept of anything, we put 0 in for x. So start fresh with the equation, but this time we're going to take out the x and put in 0. So 5 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 2y is a negative 2y. And if I take this negative 2y equals 10, divide both sides by negative 2, I get that y is equal to negative 5. Now be careful to realize these are two separate points. I got x equal 2 when I put 0 in for y, so I have the ordered pair 2, 0. And I got negative 5 for y when I put in 0 for x, so I have the ordered pair 0, negative 5. Now graphing those 2 points, 2, 0 is from the origin, we're going to go right to and don't go up or down. And then 0, negative 5, from the origin we are going to not go left or right at all, but then go down 5. And then we are going to connect these points. And that is the graph of our line. Next up is to graph y equals negative 3/4 x plus 2. So here the y is on the side by itself, and I have my coefficient times x and then a constant. So this is written in slope-intercept form. Here then, since it's in slope-intercept form, it will be the easiest to graph this by plotting the y-intercept and then from there count out the slope with your rise over run. And with this negative out in front of the fraction, we want to make sure that we remember that an overall negative value can come from either a negative divided by a positive or a positive divided by a negative. So in order to think about counting out the slope, where the numerator is the rise portion and the denominator is the run portion, I need to put that negative in one or the other spots. So I will put the negative up with the 3. And you could do it the other way. You could go 3 over a negative 4. Just remember that will change which direction you go when you're counting out your rise over your run. Now what about the y-intercept? Well, remember the y-intercept is a point on the y-axis. On the y-axis your x-coordinate is 0 and then your y-coordinate is this constant term, so 2. And quickly, if you put 0 in for x, negative 3/4 times 0 is 0, 0 plus 2 is 2, you can generate that point if you want as well. All right, so the important thing here also is you have to plot your y-intercept first. You have to be on the line to count to a next point on the line. So 0, 2 is don't go left or right, go up 2 and draw your point. And then from there, we're going to rise -3. Well, rise -3 means go down 3. And then we're going to run 4. And run 4 means go right 4. So from our point 0, 2, we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, pause, right 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then draw another point. Notice that if I would have put the negative with the 4, from my point I would have gone up 3 and left 4. So from here, if I would go up 1, 2, 3 and left 1, 2, 3, 4, I would have a different point, but I would have the same line. And connecting these, we have that graph. Next up, 7x is equal to 14. Well, look at that's a little different than the first two we did because that's only got the x letter. It doesn't have the y letter in it. Well, when it just has one of the variables for a graph of a line, we want to solve for that variable. So starting with 7x is equal to 14, we will divide both sides by 7 and we get x is equal to 2. And this means that if I make a chart, my x has to always be 2. So, and I need 2 points to determine a line. So I'm going to put 2 in the x column for 2 different points. And then my y can be anything because there's no y letter in the equation. So I'll put things that are easy to graph. Let's say y is -2. Let's say y is 3. And then we're going to graph those ordered pairs. So go right 2, down 2. So from the origin, right 2, down 2. And then right 2, up 3. From the origin, go right 2, up 1, 2, 3. And then we are going to graph that line. And let me see if I can graph that a little bit better for you. And it gives me a vertical line at x equal 2. Now our fourth example and final example, again, just has one of the letters. It doesn't have them both. So when it just has one of the letters, not both of the letters, it's either going to be a vertical line or a horizontal line. When it's just the letter x that's in the equation, it's a vertical line. When it's just the letter y, it's a horizontal line. So again, we are going to take this 2y plus 1 equal 13 and solve for y. So subtract 1 from both sides, I get 2y is equal to 12. Divide both sides by 2, y is equal to 6. Make our xy chart. This time they give me the y has to be 6. So I'll put 6 in the y column twice. X is not mentioned in here, so it can be anything. So I'm going to graph the ordered pair 1, 6 and 4, 6. 1, 6 is go right 1, up 6. 4, 6 is go right 4, up 6. And connect them. And this gives our graph of our line y equals 6. So there are 4 different examples of graphing lines with different methods, and I hope you have found this video helpful, and thank you for joining me today.